Hi everyone, I am Cindy from Clucking Around and I am your chicken check-in chick. So I want to share with you today some tips and tricks, some things that I do to prepare to get ready for the summer heat here in Texas. And so I'm going to show you around my bantam coop and my big girl coop and show you some of the things that we've done. As you can see here, my chickens have a cooling station where I have purchased those things that you have at the bottom of potted plants from my local home store. And the chickens will regulate their body temperature by standing in cool water. So that is good to have out for the chickens. They also have a shade cloth overhead that keeps this area shady. So outside in my chicken yard, I also have a thermometer so that I can keep track of how hot it is getting. On the outside of the yard for my chickens, near their shade cloth area with their little pools of water. And I also have one inside of my run. That way I can tell if my run is hotter at certain points of the day and that it might be cooler for them out in the yard, which would be better to have them out in. You can see here that I tested out my streamers that are hung along my fence to make sure they're ready for the hot season. What we like is to have them on a setting during the day, and usually during the hottest part of the day, because it will help create a little dampness on the ground. And as I stated before, the chickens will keep their temperature cooler through their feet. So that's how they can regulate their heat. So having damp or wet spots along the ground helps them to go stand and dig in those areas. I like to have a fan out in the chicken yard, one that I can move around and place it where it's needed the most. This helps with airflow during these hot months that we have ahead. During the hot months, I like to have a venting system where the heat can get out of the coops, and especially near the nesting box. So as you can see on my bantam coop, it came with this latch here, but I wanted to be able to vent it open. So I bought this type of latch that helps it stretch open without them having the space, my bantams being able to fly out. So that's something I added just recently to this coop. The other thing we've added is a shade cloth, because this side of the bantam coop, the sun hits it in the early morning until about the afternoon time. So I was trying to provide them a little shade. I did plant a bush here, but it's not gonna grow fast enough to take care of this summer. Maybe next summer it will be bigger and help provide that shade that they need. So that might be something you need to do, is prepare to add some plants that will provide shade. But with this one, I'm having to think ahead. So now, hopefully this one's gonna help next summer. But I keep their window open, as you can see, and I've provided shade cloth. Another thing I just recently added, if you look up here, is a solar exhaust. And it's funny in the video, it looks like the fan is not even turning, but it's actually turning. It's hard to tell. But we added the exhaust to pull the heat out of here. And I also added a solar fan to help give them some air towards the nesting boxes, especially when you have like Cookie here, who has decided to go broody. when you have these hens that want to be in the nesting box all day broody, it's dangerous for them, and I don't want it to get too hot for them. Now I do remove them, but they end up coming back in. So we added this fan, and it has some solar attachments up here on the roof, along with the exhaust fan that is a solar as well. I hope these tips will help you to help your chickens get through this heat that you might be having. I know in Texas here, it's already feels like is already well above and into the 90 degrees. I believe it might be 90 degrees here today. I do have my temperature gauges that I like to keep a track on as well, but I hope all these tips and tricks will help you. And if you have a tip or trick, please share that with me in the comments. I am always looking for ways to help keep my chickens cool from the heat.